The big Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit is now only about 6 weeks away. Thousands of delegates from 21 member nations will descend upon Waikiki in Ko'olina for meetings, and the Honolulu Police Department has been preparing itself. HPD has requested more than $700,000 worth of non-lethal and less lethal weapons in the last 2 years. So what did HPD buy, and what does that mean for security during APEC? Reporter Michael Levine with our partner civilbeat.com joining us now with some answers. So Michael, why did police load up on all these weapons?
Well, first, to be clear, we should say that it's not obvious that all the equipment was specifically for APEC. But we do know from looking at their records that they spent about $400,000 in the last 5 months. That's since mid-April of this year, and that's more than they spent in the last 17 months before that on these non-lethal and less lethal weapons. Now, we do know that there are going to be protests come November, but when we tried to talk to the police department about what they were planning, they said that it was a security issue and they weren't going to discuss it.
So let's get a little bit more specific. What types of weapons will HPD have at its disposal?
Well, there are things like pepper spray, there's going to be tasers, they purchased about 40 of those, there's going to be rubber bullets and beanbag projectiles, and there's also something called the long-range acoustic device that's going to be used to communicate across long distances.
Okay, you said the ACLU obtained the list. What might their concerns be?
Well, their concerns that are if HPD is preparing for war, then they're not going to be receptive to peaceful protests. So they're really concerned. They want the police department to work on training with its officers and decide when it's appropriate to use these weapons and when it's not appropriate to use them.
Interesting stuff. All right, thanks, Michael. You can find more on this story on the civilbeat.com website. Stay tuned to KITV4 News at 6 for frequent updates and insight into stories our online partners are developing every day.